In the far southwest of Africa, where the scorching sands of the Namib Desert collide with the frigid waves of the Atlantic Ocean, a land of fierce contrasts is born. Welcome to Namibia, home to one of the harshest, most unforgiving ecosystems on Earth. But don't let the stark beauty of this landscape fool you. This isn't just a place to admire from afar. Here, survival isn't a given, it's a battle. Picture this: towering red dunes, sculpted by millions of years of relentless wind, rise like ancient giants against a cobalt sky. Some of these colossal dunes soar over 1,150 feet, their crimson peaks glowing under the desert sun. But beneath their breathtaking beauty lies a brutal reality. Life here is a constant fight against the elements, where only the strongest and most adaptable can endure. As the cold Atlantic winds whip across the dunes, the temperature drops, but the challenges only intensify. This is a land where the predators are as formidable as the environment itself. Imagine a cheetah, the fastest land animal on Earth, launching itself from behind a dune, its sleek body cutting through the air in pursuit of its prey. But even this supreme hunter isn't invincible here. The scorching desert sun drains its energy mid-chase, forcing it to make a split-second decision: push harder to secure the kill or abandon the pursuit and conserve precious energy. Have you ever wondered what it takes for even the fastest creature alive to survive in such a merciless environment? But the cheetah isn't the only predator stalking these sands. As night falls, leopards emerge from their rocky hideouts. Lurking on cliffs towering 100 feet high, waiting for the perfect moment to ambush an unsuspecting victim. These solitary hunters, with their powerful muscles and stealthy movements, thrive in the cover of darkness, their golden eyes gleaming with intent. Meanwhile, lions, the undisputed kings of the savannah, roam the desert, their hunger driving them to take bold risks. They'll fight not just their prey, but other predators too, engaging in fierce battles over every morsel of food. In Namibia, even the apex predators are locked in a relentless struggle to survive. But it's not just the predators facing these challenges. Prey animals like antelope and oryx navigate the treacherous terrain, constantly on alert for danger. The oryx, with its long spear-like horns, is a master of survival, able to withstand body temperatures that would be fatal to most other creatures. It can go weeks without drinking water, relying on the scant moisture from dry grasses and succulents. Imagine enduring such extremes day after day, in a landscape where shade is scarce and every step could lead to danger. And then there's the wind. The cold Atlantic gusts don't just cool the desert, they carve and reshape it, creating ever-changing obstacles for the creatures that call this place home. Sandstorms can sweep through without warning, burying everything in their path. Yet, amidst this harshness, life endures. How do these animals adapt to such extreme conditions? What secrets do they hold about resilience and survival that we can learn from? Namibia's wild heart beats to the rhythm of this endless struggle. It's a place where every dawn brings new challenges and every sunset marks another day conquered. This isn't just a story of survival, it's a testament to the indomitable spirit of life in one of the world's most extreme environments. So, are you ready to uncover the secrets of Namibia's untamed wilderness and witness the incredible battles that unfold in this land of fire and wind? Stay with us as we dive deeper into the heart of this majestic, unforgiving landscape. But Namibia isn't just a land of dramatic landscapes and fierce wildlife battles, it's also a treasure trove of Earth's ancient history. Hidden beneath its fiery red sands and rugged terrain. As we peel back the layers of this awe-inspiring land, we uncover stories written not just in the wind and dunes, but in the very rocks beneath our feet. Did you know that Namibia holds some of the oldest geological and paleontological secrets on the planet? Covering an astonishing 382,261 square miles, Namibia's diverse geography is like a living museum of Earth's past. From the windswept coastal plains to the towering highlands, every corner of this country tells a story that spans millions of years. In the N Group region of Namibia, fossils from the Ediacaran period dating back approximately 600 million years provide some of the earliest evidence of multicellular life on Earth. Imagine gazing upon the remnants of organisms that existed long before dinosaurs roamed the planet. It's like stepping into a prehistoric time machine right in the heart of Africa. But the marvels don't stop there. As we venture deeper into Namibia's central regions, the Coma's highlands rise majestically, bearing the marks of ancient tectonic forces and volcanic activity. These highlands, along with the sprawling Kalahari Plains to the east, have been shaped by millions of years of geological transformations. Since the Precambrian era around 550 million years ago, volcanic eruptions and shifting tectonic plates have sculpted this land into a breathtaking mosaic of mountains, valleys, and mineral-rich plains. Can you picture the cataclysmic forces that forged these landscapes long before humans ever set foot here? It's no wonder that Namibia has become a hot spot for geologists and paleontologists from around the world. This land is like an open book, revealing the Earth's tumultuous past with every fossil, rock layer, and mineral deposit. For scientists, it's a goldmine of information, offering crucial insights into how our planet evolved. But even for those of us who aren't experts, there's something profoundly humbling about standing on ground that has witnessed the birth and transformation of life itself. Stretching over 1,200 miles along the Atlantic coast, the Namib Desert is not just a testament to nature's resilience. It's a living chronicle of time. This ancient desert, one of the oldest in the world, has stood for over 55 million years, silently observing the rise and fall of countless species, climates, and civilizations. Imagine the stories these sands could tell if they could speak the shifting tides of prehistoric seas, the formation of towering dunes, and the relentless march of evolution. In places like Sossusvlei and Deadvlei, nature's artistry and history intertwine. Here, the towering dunes glow in hues of orange and red, their colors shifting with the light of dawn and dusk. But it's not just the visual spectacle that captivates us, it's the sense of standing in a place that has remained largely unchanged for millennia. Just a short distance away, in the eerie expanse of Deadvlei, the skeletal remains of camelthorn trees dead for over 900 years stand frozen in time against the cracked, sun-bleached earth. These ghostly trees, preserved by the desert's dry conditions, are silent witnesses to a time when water once flowed freely through this now arid landscape. Have you ever stood in a place so ancient, so timeless, that you could almost feel the pulse of the earth beneath your feet? Namibia offers that experience in spades. It's a land where every rock, every dune, and every fossil tells a story not just of survival, but of the planet's incredible journey through time. So, as we continue our exploration, let's not just marvel at Namibia's wild beauty, let's also appreciate the deep history that lies beneath its surface. Connecting us to a world far older and more mysterious than we can imagine. Stay with us as we uncover more of Namibia's hidden treasures and discover what makes this land a true geological wonder. Building on the rich geological history we've just uncovered, let's dive deeper into one of Namibia's most mesmerizing natural wonders, the Namib Desert. This isn't just any desert, it's an ancient, living masterpiece, etched into the earth over millions of years. Stretching more than 1,200 miles along Namibia's Atlantic coast, the Namib Desert is one of the oldest deserts in the world, standing as a silent witness to over 55 million years of natural history. But here's the twist. Beneath its breathtaking beauty lies a brutal reality, where survival is a game of constant adaptation and endurance. Picture this. Towering red dunes, some reaching an astonishing 1,150 feet high, rise against the cobalt blue sky. These natural skyscrapers aren't just stunning, they're constantly shifting, reshaped by the winds that have blown across this landscape for millennia. The dunes here are like giant time capsules, holding stories of ancient climates and forgotten rivers beneath their fiery red sands. Have you ever wondered what secrets these sands might spill if they could talk? One of the most iconic spots in the Namib Desert is Sossusvlei, a place where the sand seems to glow with otherworldly hues of orange and red. At sunrise and sunset, the dunes come alive, casting long shadows that dance across the desert floor. But just beyond this breathtaking beauty lies Deadvlei, haunting, almost surreal clay pan where the skeletal remains of camelthorn trees, dead for over 900 years, stand frozen in time. These trees, bleached white by the relentless sun, create an eerie contrast against the deep red dunes and stark blue skies. It's like stepping into another world, a place where time has stopped and the echoes of ancient rivers still linger in the air. Now, here's a question for you. Have you ever stood somewhere so ancient, so timeless, that it made you feel small in the grand story of Earth's history? Deadlie does exactly that. It's a place that humbles you, reminding you that nature's timeline stretches far beyond our own. If you've ever walked through a forest or along a beach and felt connected to something bigger, imagine how it would feel to stand among trees that have been dead for nearly a millennium but still stand tall against the desert winds. But the Namib Desert isn't just about stunning landscapes, it's about survival in the face of impossible odds. This ancient land may look barren at first glance, but look closer, and you'll discover a world teeming with life that has mastered the art of adaptation. Despite scorching daytime temperatures and near-zero rainfall, creatures here have evolved ingenious ways to thrive. Take the Namib Desert beetle, for instance. This tiny insect has developed an extraordinary ability to collect moisture from the morning fog on its back, channeling droplets into its mouth. It's a simple, yet brilliant survival trick that has even inspired modern water harvesting technologies in some of the world's driest regions. Now, here's a fun thought. Who would have guessed that a humble beetle from Namibia could teach humans a thing or two about water conservation? And then there's the Oryx, also known as the gemsbok. With its striking black and white face markings and long spear-like horns, the Oryx is the epitome of desert resilience. It can survive in temperatures that would leave most creatures wilting, tolerating body heat up to 113 dU4F without sweating. This remarkable antelope can go for weeks without a single drop of water, relying solely on the moisture from dry grasses and succulent plants. Imagine being able to survive the desert heat without an ice-cold drink in sight. How long do you think you'd last? Another marvel of the Namib is the springbok, a graceful antelope known for its unique leaping behavior called pronking. When threatened or just excited, the springbok can leap up to 6 feet into the air with stiff, straight legs. It's a sight to behold, as entire herds of springboks bounce across the desert in a synchronized ballet of survival. But here's a question for you. Is this just a flashy way to escape predators, or do you think they're showing off a bit too? And let's not forget, the desert elephants are rare, smaller subpopulation of African elephants specially adapted to this harsh environment. With longer legs and larger feet, they can traverse the shifting sands with surprising ease, traveling vast distances in search of water. These desert giants can survive up to 5 days without drinking, extracting moisture from the plants they eat. Can you imagine going 5 days without a sip of water? These elephants are living proof that even the largest creatures can master the art of survival in the world's toughest conditions. Lastly, there are the meerkats, those curious, wide-eyed creatures, often seen standing upright like little sentinels of the desert. But don't let their cute appearance fool you. Meerkats are survival experts, living in tight-knit social groups where cooperation is key. While some forage for food, others stand guard, keeping watch for predators like eagles and jackals. It's a desert soap opera of teamwork and trust, where every member plays a crucial role in the clan's survival. So, as we continue our journey through Namibia, we see that the Namib Desert is far more than just a beautiful, desolate landscape. It's a living testament to nature's resilience, where life finds a way against all odds. Have these stories of survival sparked your curiosity? Which of these desert-dwelling creatures fascinates you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear which adaptation you find the most mind-blowing. And don't forget to stay with us as we uncover more of Namibia's untamed wonders. There's so much more to explore in this ancient, ever-evolving land. As we leave the towering dunes and ancient landscapes of the Namib Desert behind, our journey now takes us deeper into the heart of Namibia's most remarkable survival stories. Those of the creatures that have mastered the art of adaptation in this unforgiving wilderness. Have you ever wondered how life finds a way in the harshest environments on Earth? Well, Namibia's wildlife doesn't just survive. It thrives with ingenious strategies that would leave even the most seasoned explorer in awe. Let's start literally with the Namib Desert beetle. In a land where rain is a rare luxury, this tiny insect has developed a survival trick that borders on miraculous. Each morning, as the cool Atlantic fog rolls in, the beetle tilts its body upward, allowing tiny droplets of moisture to collect on its back. These droplets then trickle down straight into its mouth. Ingenious, right? But here's what's even more fascinating. This simple, natural mechanism has inspired water harvesting technologies in some of the driest regions of the world. Imagine that, a tiny beetle influencing human innovation. Have you ever thought that something so small could have such a big impact? Now, from tiny to towering, meet the Oryx, also known as the gemsbok. This majestic antelope is the ultimate symbol of resilience. With its long, spear-like horns and muscular build, the oryx can withstand searing desert heat that would leave most animals gasping for relief. How? By tolerating body temperatures up to 113 degrees F without sweating. Yes, you heard that right, without sweating. This incredible adaptation helps conserve precious water, allowing the oryx to survive for weeks without a single sip. Picture this, an oryx standing tall against the backdrop of glowing red dunes. Its silhouette a testament to strength and survival. Have you ever faced a challenge where you had to rely on pure grit to get through? The oryx would understand. But it's not just about brute strength here in Namibia. Let's talk about springboks, the nimble, graceful antelope, known for their spectacular leaping displays called pronking. Imagine seeing a herd of springboks suddenly spring into the air, leaping as high as 6 feet with stiff legs, like nature's very own acrobats. But these jumps aren't just for show. They're a clever survival tactic, helping to evade predators and communicate with the herd. Some say it's also a display of pure joy and vitality. What do you think? Is it a warning signal? Or are they simply reveling in the freedom of the wild? And then there are the desert-adapted elephants, perhaps the most awe-inspiring of Namibia's residents. Unlike their larger savanna-dwelling cousins, these elephants have evolved to navigate the shifting sands with remarkable ease. With longer legs and larger feet, they glide over dunes without sinking, covering vast distances in search of scarce water sources. These incredible creatures can survive up to 5 days without drinking, extracting moisture from the plants they consume. Just imagine the determination it takes to traverse hundreds of miles in such a hostile environment. Have you ever embarked on a journey where you didn't know when or where you'd find your next source of relief? That's everyday life for these elephants. And let's not forget the meerkats, those small, curious creatures that have captured hearts worldwide. But behind their playful appearances lies a highly organized and cooperative society. Meerkats live in large groups called clans, where teamwork is the key to survival. While some members forage for food, others stand sentinel, keeping watch for predators like eagles or jackals. Their burrows offer refuge from the blistering heat during the day and warmth during the cold desert nights. It's a reminder that even in the wild, community and collaboration can mean the difference between life and death. Doesn't it make you think about how much we rely on our own communities, even in ways we might not realize? From the smallest beetle to the largest elephant, Namibia's wildlife showcases nature's unparalleled ability to adapt and overcome. Each creature here tells a story of resilience, ingenuity, and survival against all odds. Which of these animals fascinates you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and stay with us as we continue to uncover the hidden wonders and survival secrets of Namibia's extraordinary wildlife. As we leave behind the resilient creatures of the Namib Desert, our journey leads us to one of the most hauntingly beautiful and mysterious places on Earth, the Skeleton Coast. Here, where the endless red sands of the desert crash into the frigid, unforgiving waves of the Atlantic Ocean, lies a landscape that seems pulled straight from a dreamer, perhaps a nightmare. But don't let its eerie name fool you. Beneath the desolate beauty of the Skeleton Coast, life thrives in ways that will both surprise and inspire you. Are you ready to uncover the secrets of a place where survival teeters on the edge of the impossible? The Skeleton Coast gets its name from the countless shipwrecks and scattered animal bones that litter its shoreline. Remnants of tragic tales from sailors and wildlife alike. Shrouded in thick fog brought in by the cold Benguela current, this stretch of coastline seems inhospitable at first glance. But look closer, and you'll discover an ecosystem pulsing with vitality beneath its ghostly exterior. Imagine a world where life clings to every rock, every grain of sand against all odds. Take the Cape fur seals, for instance. These sleek, dark-coated marine mammals have made the skeleton coast their home. Forming massive colonies that can number in the thousands. Picture the chaotic symphony of barking, splashing, and playful antics as these seals navigate the harsh surf and rocky shores. But life here isn't all fun and games. The seals rely on the nutrient-rich waters of the Benguela Current, which teems with fish, squid, and crustaceans. Yet every dive into these icy depths is a gamble because lurking below are the ocean's most fearsome predators. Can you guess who's waiting in the shadows? That's right, great white sharks and orcas patrol these waters, ready to ambush at a moment's notice. Imagine being a seal knowing that every swim could be your last. How's that for living on the edge? But the dangers don't stop at the water's edge. On land, another predator roams under the cover of darkness, the elusive brown hyena, also known as the strand wolf. With its shaggy fur and powerful jaws, the brown hyena is perfectly adapted to the coastal wilderness. These rare and secretive creatures prowl the beaches at night, targeting vulnerable seal pups left alone while their mothers hunt at sea. Yet, even the brown hyena faces its own battles. Climate change and habitat loss have pushed this species to near-threatened status. It's a harsh reminder that even the toughest survivors can be vulnerable. Did you ever think hyenas had it this rough in the wild? Sharing this rugged coastline is the black-backed jackal, a cunning and opportunistic predator. With its sharp senses and agile movements, the jackal thrives by preying on seal pups and scavenging leftovers from other predators. But don't let its small size fool you. This little hunter covers vast distances across the desert, always on the lookout for its next meal. In many ways, the black-backed jackal embodies the spirit of the skeleton coast, resourceful, relentless, and unyielding. Ever had to make do with less and still come out on top? The jackal would definitely tip its hat to you. But the drama doesn't end with the mammals. The skeleton coast is also a sanctuary for an astonishing array of seabirds. Meet the African black oystercatcher, a striking bird with jet black feathers and a vivid red beak. This bird expertly forages along the rocky shores, extracting mussels and marine worms with surgical precision. Yet, life isn't easy for these feathered foragers. Their nests, perched precariously on sandy beaches, face constant threats from predators and powerful storms. Imagine spending your life on the knife's edge, where every day brings a new battle for survival. Sounds exhausting, doesn't it? Then there's the Cape Gannet and the Cape Cormorant, both master divers that plunge into the cold Atlantic to catch sardines and anchovies. Watching them slice through the air and dive at breathtaking speeds is like witnessing a perfectly choreographed ballet of survival. But even these expert hunters face an uphill battle. Overfishing and changes in the marine ecosystem have decimated their populations, pushing them dangerously close to extinction. It's a sobering thought what happens when even the best adapted creatures start to disappear. And we can't forget the African penguin, the only penguin species native to Africa. Standing just over 2 feet tall with their distinctive black and white plumage, these charismatic birds waddle across the skeleton coast like little tuxedoed adventurers. But don't be fooled by their cute appearance. The African penguin's story is one of struggle and survival. Their populations have plummeted by a staggering 95% due to overfishing, oil pollution, and climate change. Watching them navigate the harsh environment of the Skeleton Coast is both heartwarming and heartbreaking, a poignant reminder of how fragile life can be. After the stark, windswept shores of the Skeleton Coast, you might think Namibia has revealed all its secrets. But hold on to your safari hats, because just when you think you've seen it all, Namibia surprises you again. Tucked away in the heart of the country lies a hidden Jima place, where wildlife thrives, untouched by the relentless sands or frigid coastal winds. Welcome to Erindi Private Game Reserve, a sprawling 7,719-hectare sanctuary, where some of Africa's most iconic and endangered creatures roam free. Ready to meet some of Namibia's most elusive residents? Erindi isn't just another game reserve. It's a living, breathing testament to conservation in action. Picture vast savannas that stretch out to the horizon, lush grasslands that shimmer under the African sun, and rugged rocky hills that provide shelter for creatures both mighty and small. This reserve is home to over 60 species of mammals and 300 species of birds, making it a biodiversity hotspot. But what really sets Erindi apart is its commitment to protecting some of the most endangered species on the planet. Think of it as nature's last stand where the wild things still have a fighting chance. Let's start with one of the reserve's most remarkable residents, the African wild dog. With their striking patchwork coats of black, white, yellow, and brown, these dogs are as beautiful as they are fierce. But behind those colorful markings lies a relentless struggle for survival. African wild dogs are not just skilled hunters, they're also incredibly social animals, living in packs that function like tight-knit families. Only the alpha pair breeds, but the entire pack helps raise the pups, even regurgitating food to feed them. Can you imagine your neighbors doing that for your kids? Didn't think so. This incredible teamwork gives wild dogs a hunting success rate of up to 80%, far surpassing even the mighty lions. But life isn't easy for these canines. Habitat loss, human conflict, and illegal hunting have pushed African wild dogs to the brink of extinction. With only about 6,600 mature individuals left worldwide, every hunt, every pup, every day counts. Watching them strategize and chase down prey with breathtaking speed reaching up to 43 miles per hour is like witnessing nature's version of a perfectly coordinated football game, but the stakes here are much higher. Do you think your favorite NFL team could match that level of teamwork? Speaking of stealth and strategy, let's talk about the leopardone of Africa's most elusive predators. Unlike the social wild dogs, leopards are solitary hunters, relying on patience and stealth rather than numbers. With their golden coats dotted with black rosettes, they blend seamlessly into the environment, becoming nearly invisible as they stalk their prey. Imagine walking through Erindi's rugged terrain, feeling the hair on the back of your neck stand up. knowing a leopard could be watching from the shadows. Gives you chills, doesn't it? Leopards are masters of adaptation, thriving in everything from dense forests to arid deserts. In Erendi, they play a crucial role in maintaining the balance of the ecosystem, keeping populations of hoofed animals like kudu and springbok in check. And here's a fun fact: leopards are incredible climbers. After making a kill, they often drag their prey up into trees to protect it from scavengers like hyenas. Can you imagine lugging your dinner up a tree just to keep it safe? That's dedication. But Erindi's story doesn't end with predators. The reserve is also home to the southwestern black rhinoceros, one of the rarest animals on the planet. These rhinos are perfectly adapted to semi-arid environments, using their hooked upper lips to feed on shrubs and small branches. But despite their size and strength, they can weigh up to 2,980 pounds. They face constant threats from poaching and habitat loss. With only about 2,583 individuals remaining, the southwestern black rhino is classified as near threatened. Seeing one of these majestic creatures in the wild is both awe-inspiring and bittersweet, a reminder of how fragile our natural world can be. What's most inspiring about Erendi, though, is its success as a conservation haven. Through dedicated efforts to protect and preserve these species, the reserve has become a beacon of hope in the fight against extinction. Here, animals aren't just surviving, they're thriving, and every day is a testament to the power of human compassion and environmental stewardship. Just when you think Namibia's wild heart couldn't beat any stronger, we arrive at Etosha National Park, a place where survival isn't just a daily routine. It's an epic drama unfolding under the scorching African sun. Stretching across 8,600 square miles, Etosha isn't just one of Namibia's greatest natural treasures. It's a living, breathing theater of life and death. And trust me, the performances here are unlike anything you've ever seen on Broadway. At the heart of Etosha lies the Etosha Pan, a vast, shimmering salt basin that stretches over 1,840 square miles. This was once a mighty lake, but now it's a parched, white expanse that looks like it belongs on another planet. But don't be fooled by its barren appearance. When the rare rains come, this lifeless-looking pan transforms into a vibrant wetland, drawing flocks of flamingos and other migratory birds in a dazzling spectacle of color and sound. Imagine standing at the edge of this ancient salt pan, watching as the dry earth suddenly teems with life. Can you picture it? It's a reminder that in nature, nothing is ever as it seems. But Etosha isn't just about its dramatic landscape, it's about the incredible cast of characters that call this place home. Let's start with the African bush elephants, also known as the ghost elephants of Etosha. Why ghost elephants, you ask? After wallowing in the park's salty mud, these massive creatures emerge covered in a fine white dust, giving them an almost spectral appearance as they lumber across the landscape. Standing between 10 to 13 feet tall and weighing up to 15,000 pounds, these giants are the tallest African bush elephants on the continent. But despite their size, they move with a surprising grace. Led by wise matriarchs who guide their family groups across vast distances in search of food and water. Now, here's a question for you. Can you imagine needing to drink up to 50 gallons of water a day just to stay hydrated? That's the reality for these elephants. And during Etosha's harsh, dry season, finding that much water is no small feat. Watching these majestic creatures gather around shrinking waterholes is both awe-inspiring and humbling. You can almost feel the tension in the air as other thirsty animals cautiously approach, knowing that one wrong move could trigger a dangerous confrontation. Speaking of tall and majestic, Etosha is also home to the Angolan giraffe, the tallest animal in the world, towering up to 18 feet. These gentle giants are like the watchtowers of the savannah. Their long necks giving them a bird's eye view of the landscape. Their pale yellow coats, adorned with large brown patches, blend beautifully with the golden grasses of Etosha's plains. But don't let their calm demeanor fool you. These giraffes are survivors, perfectly adapted to the sparse vegetation of the park. Feeding primarily on acacia trees, they use their long tongues to pluck tender leaves from the highest branches. Out of reach for most other animals, but where there's prey, there are predators.
Reimagined.
And Etosha's most formidable hunters are the lions. These powerful cats are the undisputed kings and queens of the park, their golden eyes gleaming with intent as they stalk their prey. During the dry season, life in Etosha converges around the few remaining waterholes,
Artlist.io,
creating the perfect hunting grounds for these apex predators. Imagine the scene: a pride of lionesses lying in wait, hidden in the tall grass, while unsuspecting zebras and antelope cautiously approach the water's
Music
edge.
licensing reimagined.
The tension builds, the air thick with anticipation, and then the chase is on. But lions aren't the only hunters prowling Etosha's plains. The park is also one of the last strongholds for the cheetah, nature's ultimate speedster. These sleek, spotted cats can accelerate to 60 miles per hour in just a few seconds, turning every hunt into a high-stakes race for survival. But here's the catch: cheetahs can only maintain that blistering speed for about 20 to 30 seconds before exhaustion sets in. It's a race against time, where
Music
precision and
licensing
patience are key.
reimagined.
Have you ever tried running a sprint in the heat of the day? Imagine doing it when your next meal depends on it. Despite their speed and agility, cheetahs face constant threats from larger predators like lions and hyenas, who often steal their hard-earned kills. It's a tough world out there, and even the fastest animal on land isn't guaranteed a meal.
Artlist.io,
Watching these magnificent creatures navigate the challenges of Etosha's harsh environment is a testament to resilience and adaptability. Etosha National Park isn't just a place, it's a microcosm of life's eternal struggle.
music licensing reimagined.
From the ghostly elephants and towering giraffes to the stealthy lions and lightning-fast cheetahs, every creature here plays a role in the delicate balance of the ecosystem. It's a place where survival is a daily battle, but also a place of breathtaking beauty and awe-inspiring moments. After the dust and drama of Etosha National Park, you might be wondering, can anything truly thrive in a land so relentlessly harsh? But Namibia, with its knack for surprise, leads us to an oasis of life where water breathes vitality into the desert. The Kunene River and the Caprivi floodplain. In a landscape dominated by sand and searing heat, these waterways are more than just rivers, they're the arteries of survival. Pulsing with life and shaping ecosystems that are as vibrant as they are unexpected. Imagine this. Winding through Namibia's arid heart, the Kunene River carves a lush ribbon of green through the barren land, its waters snaking from Angola to the Atlantic Ocean. Alongside it, the Caprivi floodplain stretches out a mosaic of wetlands, grasslands, and woodlands, bursting with biodiversity that feels almost out of place in this sun-scorched corner of Africa. It's like stumbling upon a hidden paradise in the middle of nowhere. But here's the twist: this paradise isn't just beautiful. It's essential. Without these lifelines, many of Namibia's most fascinating creatures wouldn't stand a chance. Take, for instance, the African jackal, also known as the lily trotter. Why that nickname? Well, picture this. A bird with legs so long and toes so slender, it looks like it's walking on water. These graceful creatures elegantly step across floating lily pads, seemingly defying gravity. But it's not just their balancing act that's impressive, it's their family dynamics. Here's a fun question for you. In most bird species, who do you think takes care of the baby? Yes, the mum or the dad? In the world of the African jacana, it's the dads who shoulder the responsibility. Yep, the females mate with multiple males and then leave them to incubate the eggs and raise the chicks. It's like the avian version of a reality television plot twist. But the Kunene and Caprivi aren't just playgrounds for quirky birds. The waterways are also home to towering figures like the great egret and the imposing marabou stork. The great egret, with its sleek snow-white plumage and dagger-like bill, stands motionless in the shallows, waiting for just the right moment to strike at unsuspecting fish. Ever seen a hunter with that much patience? It's mesmerizing. And then there's the marabou stalker bird, so large and, let's be honest, a little intimidating that it's earned the nickname the Undertaker. With its bald head, hunched posture, and massive wingspan, this bird might not win any beauty contests, but its scavenging skills play a critical role in keeping the ecosystem clean. Now, if you thought birds had all the fun here, think again. The roan antelope and the African wild buffalo add a touch of grandeur to this watery wonderland. The roan antelope, with its striking facial markings and backward curving horns, is one of Africa's largest and most majestic antelopes. These antelopes don't just graze, they migrate with the rains, following the rhythm of the floodplain's seasonal cycles. Have you ever wondered how animals know when and where to move without a GPS or weather app? It's one of nature's most incredible mysteries, guided by instinct and the subtle signals of their environment. Meanwhile, the African wild buffalo roams in massive herds, their sheer numbers creating a spectacle of power and unity. Picture thousands of these muscular, horned beasts wading through the floodplain, their black coats gleaming under the African sun. But don't let their calm demeanor fool you. Buffalo are notoriously unpredictable and have been known to turn on predators and even unsuspecting tourists in the blink of an eye. Would you dare to face a buffalo herd up close? And let's not forget the hippopotamus, the semi-aquatic heavyweight champion of Namibia's waterways. These river giants spend most of their days submerged in the cool waters, emerging at night to graze along the floodplain. With their massive jaws and surprising speed, yes, hippos can outrun humans on land. They're both fascinating and formidable. Fun fact, even though they're herbivores, hippos are responsible for more human fatalities in Africa than most carnivorous predators. Bet you didn't see that coming. What makes the Kunene River and Caprivi floodplain so captivating isn't just the abundance of life, it's the way these ecosystems defy expectations. In a country where survival often means battling against the elements, here, water becomes the great equalizer. It supports life in forms both familiar and strange, from tiny insects to towering mammals, creating a rich tapestry of biodiversity. So, after journeying through Namibia's deserts, dunes, and deadly coastlines, how does this lush floodplain stack up? Are you more intrigued by the bird life, the big game, or the surprising personalities of these riverside residents? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to know which of these creatures captured your imagination the most. As we've wandered through Namibia's dynamic deserts, lush floodplains and wild coastlines, one thing has become abundantly clear: this land is a marvel of survival and adaptation. But behind the beauty and resilience lies a growing shadow of threats that Namibia's wildlife faces every single day. From climate change to habitat fragmentation and the ever-present menace of poaching, the delicate balance of life here is under siege. So what happens when even the most adaptable creatures find themselves cornered by forces beyond their control? The invisible predator. Namibia's wildlife is no stranger to harsh conditions. But rising temperatures and prolonged droughts are pushing the limits of even the most resilient species. Picture this: waterholes that once sustained entire herds of elephants and antelopes are drying up faster than ever before. The African bush elephant, which we marveled at in Etosha National Park, now faces the grueling task of traveling even greater distances in search of water. Can you imagine walking miles in blistering heat just for a sip of water? That's the new normal for many of Namibia's animals. And it's not just the big guys feeling the heat. Birds like the African jacana, which gracefully tiptoe across the floodplains, are finding their breeding grounds shrinking as wetlands dry up. What happens when the very lifelines we admired in the Kunene River and Caprivi floodplain start to disappear? The answer isn't just troubling, it's heartbreaking. But climate change isn't acting alone. Habitat fragmentation is another silent threat creeping across Namibia. As agriculture and urbanization expand, wildlife corridors, the highways that animals use to migrate and find resources, are being cut off. Imagine driving across the country only to find every major road blocked. That's what Namibia's wildlife is facing. Species like the cheetah, known for its need for wide open spaces, are being confined to smaller, isolated patches of land. How can the world's fastest land animal thrive when it has nowhere to run? And then there's poaching, the most direct and devastating threat. Despite Namibia's strong conservation efforts, the illegal trade in ivory and rhino horns continues to claim the lives of countless animals. The southwestern black rhinoceros, already teetering on the edge of extinction, faces relentless pressure from poachers. In fact, an estimated 50 rhinos are poached annually in Namibia alone. Can you believe that? In a world where we've sent people to the moon, we're still struggling to protect one of Earth's most ancient and majestic creatures from extinction. Even Namibia's coastal wonders aren't safe. Overfishing and pollution are taking a toll on seabird populations along the Skeleton Coast. The once thriving colonies of Cape gannets and African penguins have seen dramatic declines, with the latter's population plummeting by 95% in recent decades. It's a sobering reminder that even the ocean's bounty isn't limitless. But here's the thing, while the challenges are immense, they aren't insurmountable. Namibia's wildlife has faced adversity before, and with the right efforts, there's hope on the horizon. So, what do you think? Can the resilience we've seen in Namibia's animals inspire us to take action? What small steps can we take in our own lives to protect these incredible ecosystems? Stick around, because in the next chapter, we'll explore the remarkable conservation efforts that are turning the tide in favor of Namibia's wildlife. From community-led initiatives to innovative solutions, the fight isn't over, and you'll want to see how this story unfolds. Now, after exploring the immense challenges that Namibia's wildlife faces, you might be wondering, is there any hope? The answer is a resounding yes. Despite the looming threats of climate change, habitat loss, and poaching, Namibia has become a global beacon of conservation success. How? By doing something both revolutionary and remarkably simple, putting the power to protect wildlife into the hands of the people who live alongside it. Welcome to the world of community-based conservation, where 43% of Namibia's land is managed by local communities as conservancies. That's nearly half of the country. A Imagine if nearly half of the US was dedicated to protecting wildlife, with local communities leading the charge. Wouldn't that be something? In Namibia, this approach has turned former poachers into wildlife guardians and farmers into eco-tourism entrepreneurs. The result? A dramatic increase in populations of iconic species like elephants and lions, all thanks to the communities that call this rugged land home. But Namibia didn't stop there. In 2018, they launched the innovative Lion Ranger Programmer project that sounds like something out of a wildlife superhero movie, but it's very real. Local rangers are trained to monitor lion movements using early warning technology to reduce conflicts with farmers. Picture this. A lion strolls a bit too close to a village, but thanks to GPS trackers and swift communication, the community is alerted in time, and both livestock and lions are kept safe. It's a win-win that keeps the king of the savannah ruling without becoming a villain in human eyes. And it's not just lions getting the VIP treatment. Predator-proof livestock enclosures have been introduced to protect farm animals from nighttime raids by hyenas, leopards, and other big cats. It's like building a fortress for your sheep. These smart solutions are reducing the age-old conflict between humans and predators, allowing both to thrive side by side. But perhaps the most impressive part of Namibia's conservation story is its focus on ecosystem restoration. Programs in critical areas like the Caprivi floodplain and the Kunene River focus on reversing the effects of climate change and creating safe spaces for wildlife to roam free. Think of it as giving nature a much-needed spa day, restoring wetlands, replanting native vegetation, and ensuring that animals have the corridors they need to migrate and find food. And the results? Nothing short of inspiring. Elephant populations, once on the brink of extinction during the dark days of the 1980s due to poaching and war, have made a remarkable comeback. In the Kunene region and northern conservancies, these gentle giants are thriving, all thanks to the collaborative efforts of communities and conservationists. So here's the million-dollar question. What can we learn from Namibia's success? Could community-based conservation be the key to protecting wildlife around the globe? And more importantly, how can we from our homes thousands of miles away support these efforts? Stick with us, because in the final part of our journey, we'll show you how you can make a difference. Whether it's through simple lifestyle changes or supporting conservation programs, every action counts. Are you ready to become part of Namibia's incredible story? Let's find out together.